Hi, Deadlocks here again, and today I'm having to play with a couple of lever locks because I want to show you, I want to show you a very funny lock, and I want to show you my process when I pick a lever lock that has false gates for the first time.
You're going to do your dance as well?
What dance?
The dance you do when you open a Mortise lock.
I don't do a dance.
You do a dance, you liar. Dances around when you open something for the first time. And it's like, woohoo, I did it, I did it, did it, yeah. Like that.
Okie dokie.
Don't you lie.
Anyway, the first one I have is this, which is a union. Now the first thing that I do, obviously, is find which tensioner is going to tension it. Nice and obvious thing, but I've skipped ahead because it's this one. And then select the right wire as well. That's helpful. I might do a more in-depth video on selecting the right tensioner and wire, but this is more about the false gates at the minute. Well, this is a terrible camera angle. I'm trying to do the best I can. Sorry about that. Now, once I've got it tensioned, I've got everything in, I start lifting all of the levers, little tiny lifts, just working my way through. And what I'm aiming to do is get everything into the lowest gate, but this is open. Alright, hang on 1 second. Okay, so this is the levers out of that union. If you notice, if I can find a pointy thing, that looks like a pointy thing. All this notch here is the false gate. Obviously, a big gap is the true gate. On every lever, the false gate is underneath the true gate. So when I was doing those little tiny lifts, I actually opened that for the very first time. I tried picking it that fast because I was using this process. It's because the first thing you get to with the tiny lifts is always a false gate. But now I'll move on to something a little harder. Okay, so this is the Chubb mortise lock that I picked last week, and put up a bit of a fight actually. Hoping we're not going to have as much of a fight today. And basically, if I do the same thing, where I do all the little lifts, just going to put some decently heavy tension on it again. See if I can get a better angle for you. Decently heavy tension, lots of little lifts. There we go. If you've seen that little turn there, that was me falling into false gates rather than getting an open. I might have sped things up a little bit on the way to that point because that took a little longer than I expected. Then, when you've done that, instead of just immediately resetting and finding out why, if you feel each lever, if you have a little bit of movement, you're probably in a true gate. So I know there, 5 is in a true gate. Hang on. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Right, that turn there, that was us falling into the false gate. So when you go through, like, once you get to there, instead of just resetting and trying again, work your way through. You'll see that's 5, there's a bit of movement on it. So that is probably in a true gate. Then move to 4, which feels a little lower, the lever's lower down, but that is solid as a rock, so that's false gate. Move to 3, got a little higher again, we have some movement, so we know that's in a true gate. 2, solid as a rock, and a little bit lower. So I'm going to say we probably need to go higher on 2 and 4. So we'll reset. 4's higher, 3's a little lower, 2's higher, then 1 was a very low set, so just, and we failed again.
Oh my goodness.
Right, so let's see what went wrong. Got 1 low and in a true gate, 2 is high, very high. I think I might have overlifted 2. 3 is too low, okay.
Not doing very good today, are you then?
Nope, not really. Some of this will be sped up. So using the information that we've gathered so far, we lift 5 high, what I'll do, I think I might be better off with a slightly longer wire. I feel like a full extension, I think a full extension things are getting done and wrong. So you lift 5 high, that's in the gate. 4 needs to go a little higher by the feels of things. So that's in the gate and feels a little higher. 3, that's 5's in the gate. 4's in the gate and higher. 3 is in the gate and lower again. 2 is in the gate, it needs to be higher. 5 higher 3, 4, lower 3, higher 2, and then a very low 1, and we'll open.
Ta-da!
So it's all about figuring out where the false gates are in relation to the true gates, which I'll show you better about nowish. Okay, so let's get me pointer again, and this is, I'm going to hold the camera in my hand for a little bit so I can show you closer. So these are the levers out of that tub. Sorry if you can hear that noise in the background. It's the neighbours getting the drive done.
I already said that, you know.
I know, but I don't know if I've got that bit out or not. So again, we have false notches and true gates in these two. Now, what happens with most mortise locks when you do all the little lifts with a decent amount of tension at the beginning, say this one, you would lift it and the first gate you would hit would be this true gate. But all of the rest of these, you'll be lifting into false notches. So you're going to hit the false notch first every time with all of these if you just lift to the first notch. But from that, it can teach you, because once you fall into the false gates properly and you get that little bit of movement, and what will happen is the ones in the true gates, you'll have that little bit of movement on when you do a little bit of a jiggle test on it.
A jiggle test?
Jiggle test. Whereas anything that's in a false gate will go solid as a rock.
Sounds like my kind of test. Jiggle test.
Jiggle test.
Jiggle test.
And it also helps to try and have a bit of a feel of where the levers are sitting compared to each other, so when you go through next time you have a lot more information for where you want to lift the levers to. That's my process on how to figure out how to open the lever locks with the false gates.
Ta-da! And this has been...
And the funny lever lock that just pops open first time. But yeah, that's all from us. I hope this is helpful to someone. See you next time.
Bye! I meant the handcuffs.
You had full confidence in the handcuffs?
Yes.
The handcuffs failed.
No, I mean I had full confidence in the beef.
Oh.
What? I'm confused. I knew you could open them. That's what I meant. I don't like this beef thing. It confuses my brain.
Okay.